So I push the button, it's panning all the way back. So I'm going to do the intro, but it's looking at the screen right now. It's just kind of funny. Hello, everyone. Welcome to VR Verdict Podcast, episode 117. I am PJ.
I'm Wookiee.
You're the only one here,
I think. Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. We would like to share VR with you. No, not entirely sure.
But you. Not you, but you. Definitely not you.
So we're going to do things might get a little crazy. We're going to do an impromptu episode. Due to guest issues, we had guests lined up for tonight. Stuff happened. We'll have them back when things work out. So flying off the cuff. So I'm just going to start by start by I don't know if you've tried it, Wookiee, but our friend's experience launched yesterday called Moon. I highly recommend check it out on Quest. I put a teaser out, but yeah, if you have VR, that's all I'm going to say. Go check it out. Don't even watch a video, which is weird for someone to say that made a video. If you don't have VR, hit me up. I'll shoot you a full video, but this is one of those things you hop in, you have no idea what the fuck's going to happen, and it's fucking awesome, so I don't want to ruin it, so check it out. It's by Don't Look Studios.
Is this Jeff what Samson from
nope.
Sorry. Okay. So he was talking about something. He was like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
It's different.
That's what he was talking. Okay. He didn't know what we were talking about. Because I was like,
I haven't been... Okay.
But
I haven't really looked into it either because like it's on the list. But
yep, Jeff Bull Jr. Well, the creator will be with us next month to talk about it and other things. But it's awesome. Check it out. So yeah, other than kind of going through the recent games I've been playing, I don't know if there's anything you want to talk about first or not, but.
Talked about the Hobbit hole a little bit last week. The only thing, honestly, I've been doing is feels like I've been cleaning since I got back because we were in the Blue Ridge Mountains doing that and had a couple of ticks on us when we got back.
Ooh.
So I've been scrubbing everything. Everything's been through the wash with hot water. Usually it's cold. Like it's just been cleaning. So I kind of feel like sit down and it's like, who was I? Who did I used to be?
Yeah. I do thank you for the recommendation. I had never heard of a tick key before, so I got one.
Yes. Everybody, you don't know. I'm really good at pulling ticks out with tweezers from our younger youth. I haven't since I've moved to the south, to the Carolinas, and I was in Florida for a while. I don't go hiking. I don't go walking around the woods anymore. There's too many critters that don't get like killed off during the freeze and the thaw like they do in Wisconsin. It's just like brown recluses and black widows. Like everywhere I've worked, it's like you walk out the door and it's like, oh look, a black widow. It's like what the my people I work with now, like one lady's like her husband got bit by a cottonmouth, the poisonous ones, in the foot and didn't go to the doctor. I'm like, what kind of Superman? Like his foot was black and he was having trouble breathing and she made him go in and then they're like, you need to go to this venom anti-venom center like now. And he just left. He said, fuck no. And he just left and he's fine. Like that's awesome. Not that I'm going to like freak out, but it's like, I just don't want to go. One person I worked with went on a walk. This isn't very far away from where I live now. Black Panther in little valleys walking in. No joke. Big as him. Just sitting there in a tree. And it's like, no, I don't want to. So I haven't had to get a tick off me in a while. I don't know why. Because they aren't around. But like when I had one like under my chin right here, and you see me pointing. It was like right in the scruff. Like there's like two pieces of scruff on dudes' chins, you know, it gets darker on the corner. Fucking hiding right in there while I'm sleeping. Girlfriend had one right behind her ear. Like they weren't there when we went to bed. And then what the fuck? So
Any money missing
like,
off
I
your
just
dresser?
grab tweezers and like, boom. No,
Okay.
check. My daughter's knocked up. No, but it's like it's hard to get them out, especially off yourself with tweezers, though. I was surprised. It was like go time, like boom. And I know these are little tiny things. If you guys have never had ticks on you or on your dog when they get full and they're gray, when they're full, it's disgusting. These are like makes me want to have a pet possum because they eat ticks and they do a good job. But it's just disgusting. But yes, tick key. If you go outside, dog ticks live in like knee-high grasses. I've been learning now, and deer ticks give you Lyme disease, which if you don't catch that early, your body's fucked forever. You can rip them off with the tick key. Don't have to get good at the tweezers because you don't have them on you. But I'm like a ninja with those. It's like bam, right off my chin, and there he was with a piece of my skin on him, and like, oh my god.
What'd you
So we
do
got
with
those
them?
two motherfuckers in little like snack Ziploc bags, just in case we get sick. Got to take them to the doctor. They're in our bathroom, Ziplocked up, all suffocating. I don't care. Usually I let all the bugs outside, but those two are gonna die. Sorry, need to go off. I hate ticks. They're so gross.
Well, just to that point with the tick key, because we started, now that it's finally not winter here, we start biking and kayaking and hiking and stuff. I've never had a problem with ticks lately, thank God, but just in case. Good to have, good to know. I didn't even know that was a thing. I do remember like when we were little and our dogs would get them because we always lived in the boonies. Like they'd get so huge and gross, and they look like little fucking aliens. And even back when I was a kid, like you just like they're so disgusting. You just want to kill them. Like
yeah,
ugh.
like when you see one that's not eating anything or stuck to anything, you're like, what's the big deal? It's like a little like the dark watermelon seeds, the black ones, they're the white and black ones. It's like one of those, but half the size. But deer ticks can be the size of like poppy seeds.
Yeah,
on a poppy seed fucking muffin. Imagine that. And if you don't get it off you in like 36 hours, if it's biting you, you might get Lyme disease, and you might not have any symptoms until like 5 years later. You get arthritis in your bones. Like,
yeah, we have two friends that have gotten Lyme disease that way, and they're still dealing with shit.
Shit.
Ugh.
Ooh, do I know
no
them?
thanks. Yeah, Brazen and
Anyway.
Lily's friend Amy. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
And they're just the weird. Yeah, when they're not biting you, they don't look like the dog ticks. They just look like this little gross thing. But when they're full of blood, they turn into like the size of a raisin or a little bigger, but they're gray and they just have their legs sticking off it out. They're just like gorged
they
on
look
blood.
like the alien pods with legs, and they're gross.
Yeah, and the biggest one I saw was on one of our dogs once, and it just was like lumpy and weird, and its legs were just off at like odd angles. It looked like some out of like that Invader Zim cartoon. Like, what the fuck is this shit?
It looks like me after I go to China.
Disgusting. I had Chinese tonight, and some's left over. I had too much. Yeah, I know what you mean. Bourbon chicken. I feel like a tick.
But to segue that to some VR talk, I think we have a little delay here. Sorry. And that's some thunder. Holy shit! If you heard that.
Holy crap! I did. You beat
yeah,
my hand.
But anyway, segueing to VR from that, I showed you guys some videos and I shared some stuff, but I played the Kayak VR, Kayak Mirage on Steam VR. Holy fuck, that game! That's probably the most.
That looked really good.
I took pictures or screenshots and I took it to work and showed them people at work like side by side with pictures I took while I was actually kayaking and they couldn't tell. It's just like, and they're really good, but it's probably the most beautiful VR game I've seen and the most immersive because the graphics are so good. Like you're going down the river and it was in Australia is the only level the demo has, but there's like not mountains but like cliffs and stuff, and it fucking looks fucking real, like more real than any VR game has ever looked to me. So
it looked.
It was pretty neat.
Videos. How do you get it? Is it using Steam?
Yeah, Steam VR. There's a demo right now,
You say it was
and
okay.
there'll be a link in the show notes. But I think they'll have 5 different venues or biomes, like Antarctica's one,
Okay.
which
Oh
will
wow.
be awesome. But yeah, you can go like in the daytime, the nighttime, all kinds of really cool options. They do have like the casual, what I was doing, just going up and down the river, but they have like time trials and stuff if you want, all that. But I highly suggest you go check the demo out because damn, it's good. So yeah, and it's funny
Looks good.
because, like I said, I kayak a lot when the weather allows, and I haven't played Phantom Covert Ops, which by Endreams, the kayaking military shooter, which is amazing. Um, First thing I thought when I got in the kayak this year was like, I thought of that game, and it's funny because it's like when I go kayaking, that's the first thing I think of, and that's like how real it is in my head. Like it's just that good. So I played that a little bit, and then I found the kayak demo, and it's awesome.
It just sounded like you said before that you hadn't played Covert Ops. I'm like, I thought you played the hell out of that. But
I hadn't played it for like a year.
like we were talking about
since...
this with the
Yeah. Sorry.
we were just talking with the Let's Talk Oculus guys about this exact thing last week. Yeah, take your silenced pistol with you and a crossbow or something.
Yeah. So that was my segue, but
VR.
another cool thing I played, Blaze Rush came out on the Quest. Check it out. It's basically rock and roll racing from SNES and VR. I've showed you. It came out on PC like years ago, and then they kind of took it off the store at one point. I think they might have put it back now, but and they're 2 different versions, so sadly no crossplay or anything. But it's fun. Like my favorite mode is like, because you can play online with people and stuff, and it's there's different modes, but my favorite mode, it's a race, but there's this big huge machine with like a big grinder on it, and it starts getting faster and faster, and once it kills someone it resets, and then there's a couple rounds of that, and then you can knock each other off the maps, and it's just fun. The maps are so cool because you can't always see in front of you because you're kind of just in the same spot as the cars go around, so sometimes it gets tricky. It's a lot of fun. Highly recommend that.
None of that makes any sense.
Oh,
Like, that's crazy. So you're in the race cars, like first person racing, or is it like third person?
nope.
Or
It's third person, but you kind of like move around as they go around the map. Not very, like really slowly, but you can't always see like the way you're facing, so it's kind of like challenging because once the first lap you don't really know what's going to happen, but after that you kind of got it figured out, so it's kind of neat. And once that big truck comes up behind everyone and starts killing people, it gets pretty insane.
we used to play a lot of rock and roll racing.
Yeah, good stuff. I think that came out on the Switch digital library if you have the online thing.
I don't. I think Nicole pays for it once in a while when Animal Crossing stuff with the girlfriend. Nicole. Yeah, got it on emulators.
Yeah. Have we tried that in freaking that VR thing we do?
Emu VR. Yeah, I don't think we have actually. I know we have the cartridge.
We'll have to try that.
We've talked about it. Maybe there's something wrong with the copy I had. I had to have tried it. I don't remember the outcome.
Now there must must try if you have PC VR, Emu VR. I guess you don't even need VR. You can do it flat, but VR is awesome.
It's good that they have the flat screen version, but it's a little cumbersome, if I'm honest. But just because the way, when you're playing that one in VR, you kind of like you have to like sit a certain way and get situated, and then when you kind of like activate the TV and you're playing, you're not moving anything else. That's like you're done until you like disengage from the TV. So doing that flat screen, it's kind of like you're moving the mouse around, and then you do that, and you're kind of stuck. But when you get down to it, like I had got VHS tapes where I pop it in and it plays random Next Generation episodes. You put that on one TV, so if you get yourself situated so you can see both TVs and you like engage with that and you're playing games, fucking awesome.
Yeah, I haven't tried the flat version but that kind of just tells you they're focused on the VR side of it, which is awesome. But hopefully they figure both out and make it smooth.
I'm just glad. Yeah, I'm just glad the flat ones are just if you're like decorating your room because you can put posters everywhere. You don't have to keep putting the headset on. Make sure you got them in the right spot. It's just like
That's a good point.
quick edit thing. But I did try to play it. I'm like it's much more natural in VR. If somehow they figured if you could have like the actual controllers pop in, um, that'd be even weirder. But can you imagine that with like finger tracking? You had just like I don't know if that would work as well, but that's a game where I would buy like the shell of all the old controllers to hold in my hand to make sure I was hitting the right buttons or something.
Yeah. But another title we love got an update, and I didn't even know about this one, so it was neat to find. But Elven Assassin, the game that introduced us both to VR, now has like a couple escort maps where you're covering a troop of dwarves as they move through a level. Yeah, it's really neat. I want to try it. Like we'll have to get Logger and try that out. That company blows my mind because that game is so great. I mean, it's been around for a long time, but they're still updating it kind of slowly. I don't think we've ever even tried the new versus maps, to be honest.
We haven't,
but they don't.
It's hard to get,
outside their
hard to get
Discord.
people together.
Yeah, outside their Discord though, they don't say anything. They don't. There's no news, no nothing. It's so bizarre.
It's probably just hobbyists, a couple of dudes doing something. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah,
I know they're from like Sweden or Norway, I think, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Scandinavian developers.
I've messaged them a couple of times and they reply kindly and stuff, but they don't really give you any information. So sorry again for the delay. I don't know what that is, but
we're getting a delay from us then. Is that what you're talking about?
I think so.
Well, that's no good.
Just makes conversations hard.
Yeah, I did see a cool add-on. I want to get back into Skyrim VR sometime if I can make time for it because they added what's the big VR like medieval combat game? Is it Blade? Not Blade and Sorcery. It's like is it Blade and Sorcery?
Yeah, that's one of them. Probably the biggest one.
I think that's the big one. I think that's the one they were mimicking. But now in like Skyrim VR with somebody's mod, you can grab the NPCs. You can just like click on them and grab them. And I think it kind of, I don't know if it freezes them, but it had him like jamming a knife in his throat. And I was like, oh, I might have to go check that out again.
Yeah. Yeah, they've had a mod out that made items grabbable and like it's more VR-ish, if that's a term, which works really well. Like I added that when it first came out probably a year ago now, and it's pretty cool. But yeah, they keep doing more stuff with it, and that'd be neat to grab characters and do stupid things.
Yeah. Such a big game. I hope they're. I forget the name of their space game coming out from Bethesda. Like the big.
Starlight, is
I
it?
can never remember the name. Star something like that.
Starflight?
But it cautiously optimistic because I'm not Starflight. Cautiously optimistic because I'm still waiting for Star Citizen. Because the last time I played that, it was the exact same status. It was like a year, like in 2016. This is like 2 years ago when I tried it. Still couldn't buy like a spacesuit. It wouldn't, like, you pay the money goes out, doesn't go in the inventory. Still have my old biker suit on. Like, what if I fly out in space with this on? Am I gonna die? Um, but anyway, the Bethesda one, if that works, and then they have maybe a VR version of that, that's going to be insane.
Yeah.
Because I really like the VR version of Elite Dangerous, but then there wasn't much to do when we tried it in 2017 or whatever, and then Horizons or whatever launched, and now they don't support console anymore. Like the console version's dead, and it's like that doesn't sound like I want to keep buying their updates, even on PC. Like I love it, but
I'm not even sure they're
oof.
supporting VR with the new content or not. I haven't looked into it since that last bit of news.
That's right, they're not.
So I
Yeah,
was
when you
like,
hop out of your ship, last thing I read like a few weeks ago, yeah, it's like if you're playing in VR and you hop out of your ship, you just get like the 2D panel. Like if you play a video game, like one time I forgot to put the Quest camera when I built this, and it just pops up and the booth is there. It's like a little TV screen in your VR view, and that's what you get with that. It's like they just unchecked the VR because they didn't feel like fixing it. And that whole launch, like when it first launched, we were kind of excited about it. I was looking into
yeah,
it, and everyone's like, it destroyed everything. I'm like, oh, I'm sure they're slowly getting it back to work, but like, oof.
yeah.
I wonder what's happening with that. It's like if they had a decent cash shop with cool cosmetics or something, but it's like weird paint jobs. Like I keep getting emails for it. It's just the weird, like the ships that I don't want to use, and here's a red and orange colored one. Like, yuck, no. Um, I don't know how they're making money. They're not spending it very well if they're making a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, Bethesda's space game. I hope that's good.
What's to kind of end and wrap up? Maybe should we go over kind of some of our plans for this since we don't really talk about that, or do you want to just wait and see if it works out?
I would just wait a little bit. We got some fun stuff planned for the booth, but Wookiee's got to learn a little bit more. Hire some people.
Takes time and effort.
Yes. And like since the Hobbit whole thing happened, I had a couple days off after we got back, but I was in such a chill mood. Like I used to read the Lord of the Rings books and the Hobbit once a year. I'm probably over 40 read throughs if you count only reading the Hobbit and then the three books. If I've read them out of order and all that stuff, not counting, like 40 straight read throughs. And that's what's taken a few years off. But then I got into the audiobook, and it was so nice having a commute and listen to it. And the old one with Rob Inglis is really good. I think you like the new one with the fuck, my name's the Gollum dude reading them. You like those?
Yeah. Yeah, I just started Two
I
Towers.
can't like
2
good
hours
name.
into it.
How's
Andy
he on the
Serkis.
songs? Yeah, Andy Serkis.
He does really well, and
If we're not recording, I can say all these names, but
yeah, he has a separate voice for. I don't know how people fucking do this because he's not the first one, obviously, but a different fucking voice for every fucking character. And maybe they record them separately, but it seems like they just switch on the fly and just keep it's fucking nuts.
I've thought about that too when the Rob Inglis guy reads it. Like if it was me, I would have, especially if you have a British type or maybe an Australian accent by default. But the old one, he goes through all the different hobbits with different dialects, a little more Cockney, a little more goofy with this one, a little more very rustic with the Sam character. So I'm thinking he's got like somebody's artwork, from back in, because that was done like the 90s. And then, something that reminds him of what voice to use, like a big character panel at his desk or something. That way you just look at it and then you switch. Because I think he does it on the fly in the old one, because I can catch when he does them out of character. Like he'll say it, like he'll be saying a line, and like he'll say it in the wrong voice because he's getting the conversations mixed up back and forth. And I'm like,
Yeah.
amateur hour. Just kidding. I don't say that. I'm like, oh, damn it. There's even times where like he says things with the wrong inflection, and I'm like, I should go cut it out where he says it the same word with a different inflection and superimpose it on there, but I don't. But yeah, it's really cool when people put that in there. My favorite narrator for audiobooks is probably that Peter Kenny guy that does the Witcher books.
Yeah.
Because when I first started reading those, I'm like, this guy's a bit much. But then you get into it, and he does perfect voices. Like ladies, Dandelion, Jaskier, I guess is his real name from the old books. But it's just like, holy crap, this guy's really good. The haughty people, like the tax collector, that spawned the whole tax collector thing from the third one. I'm sure that's where they got the idea to put that character in there. Yeah, he does perfect voice. But anyway, I've been reading or listening to the audiobooks so long, I kind of got away from reading books. Like I was actually able to finish the Silmarillion via audiobook, where I'd always like petered out at some point trying to read them in person as a kid. And I was like sitting there, I was so chill after that Hobbit hole. I'm like, I'm going to read The Hobbit. I sat down and I read it like almost in one sitting. But I'm trying to like cut down on screen time at night, and what am I going to do? Read fantasy books? So I'm reading Lord of the Rings from the old paperback version that girlfriend got me when we first started going out, when the movies were coming out. And then I've got my old hardcovers from back in the day, the big red one and the old brown ones I got. It's been chill. So that's where my time is going. So how do I balance that with working on the booth? I'm like, no, I got to read. Gotta read.
Yeah.
All time. But now I want to check out the Andy Serkis versions too, because you were talking about the other day. I'm like, I remember like it was on Christmas or something. He just did that for The Hobbit on a YouTube video. And I was like watching it live whenever he did that. And I was like, this is pretty good. But I feel like I'd be cheating on old Rob Inglis or whatever his name is.
I like those too. I think I'll probably alternate every time I listen to them. But with the Andy Serkis ones, like I think it was because he did all 4 books, and I think is mainly towards the end of The Hobbit. I'm like, I really feel like I just want to put on a big fucking pair of headphones, go curl up on the couch under a blanket, and just fucking listen to this. Because I normally just listen to it while I'm driving to work and stuff, but it just made me feel fucking cozy as hell.
Yeah. Imagine reading that in a Hobbit hole.
That's what I was going to ask if you did that or not.
I was reading it, and then I was watching clips of the movies. The Wi-Fi wasn't as strong as it should be, but I was able to watch some of it. But they said you can have a third person if you book it. Might have to use an air mattress because it is like a living room, a bedroom, and a kitchen, and they're very small. I was like, how can I get PJ's wife a vacation of her own so we can snag PJ, bring him to the Hobbit hole?
Yeah.
But it would be fun.
I'd fucking cosplay that whole weekend.
But yeah. He's got stuff in there. He tried to get us to take photo. The guy that runs it. He's like 70 and he's tinkering around. He's hammering. He's making wood and metal things out there, and he's got like capes and scarves and cloaks and things. And he's like, if you want to take one of those out, go walking with it. I'm like, maybe next time. He's like, I got Bilbo's backpack from the movie hanging there if you want to take it for a walk. Like,
awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, another trying to bring it back to VR a little bit so no one yells at us. I think a cool experience in VR would be like a Renaissance fair. Um, like just a little experience type thing. 'Cause we go to like 2 or 3 a year in the summer, and the last time we went to the biggest one in our area, like it was August, but it like we went first thing in the morning. We spent the night and stuff, and like it was. It's weird to say this because it's just like 100 degrees the other day. Went from 40 to 100. um, it was really cold that morning, and so Beth was just like, if you can see, audio listeners, I'm shaking my VR hands like I'm freezing.
I thought you were glitching out for a second. Like, is he actually like shaking that hard?
I was. So we bought a $300 cloak. Like it's a really fucking cool cloak, and this thing, like, we'll have it forever. You can do a lot of things with it, just like kilts and things. So it's really cool. It sounds expensive, but I thought it was fun, and we had fun with it. And she's been dressing up the last couple times, so I just can't dress up because I get too hot. So I'm thinking I could maybe do a kilt type of thing because I'd be cooler, but that's about as far as I can go with it at those things. But that would be a cool experience, I think.
No. I wonder if you could take like a 360 degree camera and like walk through there, and maybe they would yell at you, but make your own like a real experience. Because some of those 360 cameras, like in the Oculus TV on the dashboard, and you go see some cool castles and stuff like that. That's pretty wild. Just those, and they're stationary. But because I remember like that was a long time ago. We went to one of the Renaissance fairs up there in Minnesota, and there's a war horse where his butt was taller than I am, like 6 foot. Like his butt was like 8 feet high. Like that's not a Clydesdale. What the hell is that? And everyone just kept calling it a war horse. I'm like, what's the name? Because the thing was a monster. I didn't see the front of it. It's just butt was hanging out of a barn because it didn't fit. I'm like, how did you get that here? Like so many questions. And then they had like the 4-horn goats and such cool stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, if I ran one, I'd have a movable camera, 3D camera, and just do each part of it and put it out there and charge $2. I don't know.
Well, I forget the name of the knife throwing guys we like.
Danger Committee.
They do that crazy wild knife. Danger Committee. If you guys, if listeners or viewers or whatever get a chance to see those guys live, they're throwing knives at each other and catching them while they're on fire. Like,
yeah,
I'm sure
and they're fucking hilarious.
But it's like, yes, I wasn't going to spend any money that last time because I was just like, I have a problem with the Renaissance fairs. I would be the dude buying a $300 cloak. I spent $333 at the Hobbit Hole buying shit to take home. Like Jesus, that was a mistake, but it's cool stuff. I have a long, like, curious wooden pipe that the guy makes. $50. I don't smoke pipes. I'm sitting there puffing on a pipe with nothing in it. Like, I'm an idiot. But I couldn't buy the thing. I'm like, I'm gonna hang that somewhere. But yeah, like I kept going to the ATM and paying the ATM fee because I'm like, all right, I'm going to tip these guys $20. I don't remember if you remember that incident. I think I went there like three times and kept giving these guys $20 because they were hilarious. That's how they make their living. I'm like, I'm not buying anything. This is my treat to myself is rewarding these guys because I was laughing, and your wife, like an acorn or something, fell out of the tree, hit her right on the head, right next to me. Laughing my ass off, and these guys are making jokes. I don't remember what I was laughing. Throws a knife right at the other guy's face, and he catches it, and it's on fire. And I'm like, here's another 20. Like, what the fuck? The best time I had. Oh,
yeah, those guys, they do like
committee
5 shows a day, and they're different. Like, and it's not all scripted because if you ever listen to those guys talk between them, like he's just fucking quick. Like he's funny as shit. They do non-Renaissance fair shows in the wintertime in the cities. I gotta get to one of those. But
Yeah, their wit is fast, and they're just playing off the crowd. It is such a good time. Yeah, I wish all the Renaissance Fair stuff was like that, because you can go to. I think we went to. Was I there that time with the tomato guy, or was that a story you told?
You were there.
I'm sorry, the other blur there so long ago. One of those dudes that insults people, or we get the jester. You're supposed to throw tomatoes at him, and some like overweight guy walks by in a red shirt, and he was like saying he was a tomato or something. It was like, why aren't they all that funny? I can't do that one justice because I don't remember it very well, obviously. But
We
and you go
sat
to some of
there.
like the poetry readings, and they're just like, what is this?
Yeah. Last year we went and we sat and watched the tomato throwing because they have like 3 or 4 guys that rotate because they'll stand there for like an hour and just fucking like they'll go hoarse that they're screaming at people so much, and they're not always PC. So that's
Just
when
barking.
when I get into it. Yeah, and Jesus Christ, they're funny. Like that whole we sat there for like an hour.
Yeah, it's guys are
So yeah,
classic.
bring that to VR. We need some shit.
Yeah, if they could put a VR camera at like those shows, I would be attending. Just to see that shit. Throw a tomato at the camera. Why not?
Well, it'd be
They could do
crazy to
that. They
watch
could sell
that, or the
tickets.
knives come flying at the whoever's got the camera on and shit. Like that'd be wild.
Yeah. Pee my pants. Yeah, Renaissance fairs. And if you go, try to get into it. Have fun. These people are there all day. Don't be a fuddy-duddy.
I have a video. The one last thing on that. We go to a smaller one, and we just ended up going in, and there's this guy that like does hypnotize. He'll hypnotize the whole crowd, and Beth volunteered and went up there, and it is literally the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like I'm not exaggerating. Um, she's done it twice, and she actually had this guy like hypnotize her for personal stuff to like help her calm and stuff, and kind of did a lot of change in her life. It was crazy. He's starting his own little fair this year, so see what happens there. But yeah, just
His
freaking
own
funny
fair.
stuff.
Hypnotism fair or Renaissance fair?
Renaissance fair that he dresses up and plays a bit part, like a part and stuff, but he's been part of all the other fairs on and off, I guess. So yeah, that's where we met him, and we
Wow.
just yeah, you never know what you find. But I am sad I haven't seen the insult guy. I don't know if we're in a too far of a PC age for them to have that kind of um interaction. But
No,
I
I
mean
will
he
grab a
did,
sword off the wall and defend that guy to death.
yeah. He did compliments too. It's all whoever paid him, he'd go that route you wanted him to. So I don't know, but I haven't seen him for a couple of years. I've been sad because he was good.
Yeah.
Anyway, we only meant to do a short
Well,
show. What's that?
I said good stuff. Sorry about the delay.
No problem.
That's annoying.
But anyway, we only meant to do a short show, last minute show. So here we are. Come back next week. We talk to the Vertical Shift team. But
Vertical shifting. That sounds
yeah,
fun. Be there, bitches. We have that as a tagline. Be there, bitches.
we could.
Good. No, I don't need it. But thanks for listening. Grateful you're here, and everybody and anybody.
Thanks for hanging out. Catch you later.
Wookiee and PJ signing off.